Let's come back home now, where South Africa takes centre stage in brand excellence as Johannesburg hosts a landmark event celebrating the continent's most admired names in business. Brand Africa, in collaboration with Brand South Africa, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, as well as Business Day, is set to unveil the 2025 Brand Africa 100, which is South Africa's best brands rankings. Let's now cross live to SABC News Anchor Liezel Wilson. Liezel, a very good afternoon to you. So you are in the prestigious setting among all the brands that make South Africa a fierce, recognizable, as well as competitive brand continentally as well as globally. What can we expect from today's event, though?
Moeni, Saribonani, Dumelang, Tovela, Goeie good evening. Yes, aptly put, we are coming to you live from the JSC here in Sandton. And I must say the evening is electrifying. There's excitement, really, and just pride at large, of course, as we await the announcement of Brand Africa Top 100. So with Brand Africa alongside Brand SA, the JSC and Business Day, that unveiling is going to be happening rather shortly. That program is set to kickstart at around 6 p.m. But it really just looks at the most influential and the most admired brands in South Africa, across the continent, not only those who are carrying the image of Africa globally, but also helping to, contribute towards development, economic growth. There's the restoration aspect as well in terms of agency, but also upholding inclusivity, equity, and of course representation. And so there's a lot at stake, and we are counting down. It's also a rather important evening for the SABC, who's also been nominated under one of the categories for best media. So we'll see how that all fares out. Of course, that's an important time for the SABC, the historic significance for us. 75 years later, as you know, we're celebrating that milestone. And as we continue to serve as a mirror for society, reflect back, how far we've come as a nation, we're also just looking at some of the other influential brands that continue to play their part. In terms of the program as well, we've got a lot lined up. We have speakers, Dr. Tebe Kalafeng. He's the chairperson. He's also the founder of Brand Africa. He'll be addressing everyone. You've also got Neville Mikey. He is the CEO of Brand SA. You've got Pule Molipuleti. He is the Arena Holdings CEO. And then, of course, our very own SABC Group Chief Executive Officer, Nomsat Chavedi. She's also going to be part of the panel discussions taking place. And so we're looking forward to those insights that are going to be shared tonight, perhaps to get a little bit more a sense of really what we can expect further. Let me bring in Brand SA CEO Neville Mikey to chat a little bit further. Neville, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us here on the SABC. It's an exciting time. 15 years later, Brand Africa really here. We're looking at the significance of these awards and how it fares globally, how that image is upheld. Tell us a little bit more.
No, most certainly very important time for the brands that are going to be announced today. And congratulations to the SABC too. We're very proud of this brand, the largest station on the African continent, and really has done very, very well. Again, brand is currency, brand is weight. Brand actually resonates through time as long as you nurture it and you continue to enhance the brand and making sure that you are always visible and always known to your audience. That is very, very critical. So the top 100 brands that are going to be announced tonight, I'm looking forward to them as well. Want to see who's going to be on the top list. And of course, for South Africa is an important milestone because a number of our brands have really done well within the African continent. You think about MTN. Globally, you think about Nando's, how well it has done. You think about Bell Equipment. What would you have thought? Bell, really from Richards Bay. But they're already in the USA, they're already in Europe. So those are some of the brands that are really doing well. But the brand doesn't just do well on its own. It also carries the flag of our country, which is why it's so important for us as Brand SA to continue to support those brands in their positioning in the global space, because what it does is it comes back to us. It basically says South Africa is a competitive destination, and South African brands are so good that they can actually get into those markets.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we're even just looking at the issue of the creative economy, right, towards economic growth in our country, and even further afield on the continent, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and really the significance of that for us. Tell us a little bit more about the expectations on that front, how the brand itself is going to assist in creating jobs and drive economic growth at large.
Well, cultural diplomacy is very important. I mean, you see how our artists are doing so well. Tyler is doing us really proud. Wouter Kellerman is doing really well. You know, a lot of those, I think David Tlale and Makos are currently in China at the moment, again flying the flag of the country. Really, really important for us to continue to nurture that. But in terms of the African continent, of course, South Africa has always placed itself in the forefront of ensuring that we don't only market South Africa, but we market the rest of the continent in most of the global destinations that we're in, because we are African first before we become regional. And because of that, our president has been quite clear that the Africa Continental Free Trade Area has to expand. We've got to trade with each other first within the continent for us to be able to actually expand and grow our economies and also grow our jobs. So that is very, very important. And of course, the support for Wamkele Mene, His Excellency, the Secretary General of the AFCFTA, who has really done well to also break down non-tariff barriers as well as tariff barriers of products moving across within the African continent. This year, of course, an important milestone for South Africa. The G20 is coming to South Africa. Again, our president has been clear that it is not just a G20 for South Africa, it's a G20 for Africa. And we've seen it in a number of meetings that have been held in South Africa that the African continent has participated. A number of African countries have actually been participating in the program of the G20. What does it say? It says Africa is ready to do business and Africa is ready to really showcase our brands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just as we conclude, sustainability is key. Tell us how we benchmark against the global sphere with these shifting geopolitical dynamics and how key it is for us to complete the story of the world by contributing our version.
Remember, I'm Brand South Africa, I'm talking about the destination. Think about what the UAE has done in the last 20 years. Think about Dubai, where it was a few years ago. When they realized that their oil reserves were starting to run dry, what did they have to do? They had to diversify. They had to look at new products to ensure that they entice new investors to come into those markets. Similarly with us, you have to diversify. You have to always be top of mind in terms of all of your clients. For us as South Africa, top of mind for our investors, for our visitors, and most importantly, especially with the geopolitics as they currently stand, we have to continue really echoing the message. What is so beautiful about what we've seen after our president had been to White House is a number of global countries have really come out and said, really, South Africa, you are the destination.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Neville, for joining us. Wishing the SABC, of course, wishing you and all the stakeholders all the best as the evening kicks off. We are about to kickstart that program shortly. Again, just awaiting the announcement of the top 100 brands in Africa. And as that continues, we'll bring you the latest as it unfolds. Neville Mikey is the CEO of Brand SA, just chatting to us about the evolution of, these awards and really what it means for its impact, not only here in South Africa, but across the continent, and of course, solidifying our role in the global sphere. For now, it's back to you in studio. We'll continue to cross to you as it unfolds.
Thank you so much, and we'll continue rooting for SABC. Thank you so much to our anchor there, Liezel Wilson, and she's joining us from the Johannesburg Stock Exchange there, as of course the top brands are recognized in a prestigious event set to take place in a couple of minutes' time.